Joe Staley talked this morning on the radio and was asked about the Super Bowl loss to the Chiefs. What's the one thing that really sticks in his mind about that loss? And he said the fact that the Chiefs held Nick Bosa about 30 times and he never got any calls. And to me, I mean, he's not on the team anymore. It's fair for him to be still bitter about this, but it seems to me to indicate the entire organization's attitude about that loss. And the attitude is they really won the game. They should have won. That it was stolen from them by the referees. And when they talked last year about a revenge tour, the revenge, you always said, like, revenge on who? What is this revenge? On the refs, on the league for stealing their Super Bowl victory and anointing Patrick Mahomes because they wanted him to be the face of the league and not Jimmy Garoppolo or something like that. So that's what the revenge is on the league and the refs. What do you think of the Niners narrative here?
Okay, my initial thought is get over it.
Get over it.
You lost the damn game. Get over it. Yeah. But I have more to say.
Yeah.
First of all, we're talking about Joe Staley, so we got to be very specific here. Joe Staley.
We're not criticizing him.
No. Well, in a way, we are. I don't agree with him. So, and I don't agree with his fixation on that. So, Joe, if you're watching, I am humbly disagreeing. I think you're the greatest. I really, really like you and enjoyed covering you. So we may have a difference here, and please bear with me. And grown people can have differences. Iggy, they lost the game. Now, in addition, if Bosa got held 30 times, I assume some of those holds were in the first 3 quarters. Okay, so what's 3 quarters of 30? I mean, it's a lot of the holds happened in the first 3 quarters. Yeah. They were leading by 10 points in the fourth quarter. So those holds were not an issue, particularly early on. They had the game won and lost it and blew it. And I don't think they lost the game because there were 7 more holds, if there even were, on Bosa. So I find the concept hard to stomach, frankly.
Yes.
But what I said before, more than that, is get over it. And don't delude yourself and think you had won that game. Probably if Kansas City looked at it, they could find where their guys got held.
Yeah.
Move on. What do you think, Iggy?
Well, I mean, I understand Joe not being able to get over it because that was the last game of his career.
Sure.
In a sense, that's tough. But it just feels like it's indicative of how the entire organization feels, top down, that they were robbed of this game and they can't let it go. And to me, we talked last year about the Super Bowl hangover. What is it? It's impossible to define, but it's coming, and they went 6-10. And it seems to me that what the Super Bowl hangover is in the Niners case is just total denial. It's we should have won, and we're out to prove that 2019 team was the best team. So we're not going to change much. We don't really want to tweak the formula. We want to keep it the same, maybe change here and there, but we're out to prove that this team was always the best. And I think that's the problem right there. They're out to prove that 2019 was the real them. Okay. And go ahead.
Well, Iggy, the revenge tour was last season, 2020.
Yes.
Did they prove that they really won the Super Bowl by how they performed in 2020?
No, but they talk about 2020 like it didn't happen, like it was just a fluke of the pandemic. Hey, the fans weren't there. It wasn't a real year. Forget about 2020. At the State of the Union, everyone kept talking. Greg Popovich specifically was asking John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, do you think this team is better than the 2019 team? Like, what about 2020? What?
Greg,
why are we comparing this team to a team 2 years ago and not the team last year?
Greg was asking that question?
He asked that question verbatim. And he asked it to both John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, is this team better than the 2019 team? How about is it better than the 2020 team?
Okay, that's very interesting that Greg was doing that. Again, Greg is my friend. We appeared on TV hundreds of times together, and he's a great sportscaster, and I have deep affection for him. But again, with all due respect, and I understand why he's doing it, he's now with the team. And so you're not going to pump up the 2020 season. That was a disaster. But really, the question is not, are they better than the 2019 team, which didn't win anything, really? Are they better than the 2020 team? Why do you ask that? Because that's the one that just happened. That's the one where they played that season.
Right.
Other teams, in fact, there was a Super Bowl champion, as I recall, in Tampa.
Right.
So, and they're very happy to have won that Super Bowl. So 2020 happened, and they won 6 games. Now, look, they had a lot of injuries, and we've heard about that till you want to puke. About all those injuries. The fact is, they won 6 games. Yes. They had a really crummy season. So the real issue, and you probably can't do it at a fan day, I understand that. But the real issue is, why are they better than last season's team?
I agree. But what we're seeing, the mentality in the organization is, one, they were the best team in the league in 2019 and got robbed. They should have won the championship. And then last year was a total fluke, and you got to write the whole thing off like it never happened because of injuries and no fans. So this year, the 49ers are going to prove that they were the best team in 2019. They're going to be better than that and win the Super Bowl.
Well, this year, the only thing they can prove is that they're the best team in the league. They can't prove that they're better than 2019 because 2019's over with. In fact, it's not even relevant. Right? It's not even relevant. They have to prove they're the best team this year. And in all fairness, I think they have a heck of a chance to do that. I think that they are really good considering 2 things. If they don't have a bunch of injuries, and if something's really rotten over there, and if they have a quarterback who can play.
Agree. And one last piece of advice for the 49ers. Again, Joe Staley doesn't reflect on you. He's retired. But I think this just underscores what a bad look it is to talk about 2019 and 2021. Let it go. Don't ever talk about that season. Don't talk about it for a while. Do something in 2021 first and stop talking about that season. Let it go. Start over.
I agree, Iggy. And, it seems Bush League.
Yeah.
It seems Bush League.
We should have won.
In 2021, we got screwed in 2019. It also seems like sour grapes. All of that stuff.
We got screwed in 2019. That was 2 years ago. Like, Doug Peterson won the Super Bowl with the Eagles and got fired last year. Who cares what you did 2 years ago? First of all, you didn't win the Super Bowl. Second of all, that was 2 years ago. No one cares. Move on. Do something special in 2021, because no matter what you say about the 49ers and whether they're on the right track or whether they have potential, 4 winning seasons since 2003. That's it.
I think Greg Papa could have had better material. For example, Greg, if you're watching, you clearly see that we don't go along with that 2019 comparison. A better question would be, why are the Niners the best team in the league this year?
Yes.
That's a better question. On that, Greg. And you know what? I could get behind that, and I could make arguments, as you can, that they're the best team right now. I think that's more to the point, Iggy. What about you?
Yeah, but to actually answer that question, you'd have to acknowledge Trey Lance. And the weirdest thing, I know you didn't watch the State of the Franchise. I know you would rather fold socks than watch the State of the Franchise, which is why I watched it for you. And it was an hour long, and all you need to know is no one mentioned Trey Lance's name at any point. It's like he did. It's like he doesn't exist. And it was very strange. Why would you not be proud to talk about Trey Lance? There was a photo shoot, because the whole thing was basically to unveil some new throwback uniforms. And that was just basically an opportunity to take a bunch of pictures of Jimmy Garoppolo and plaster him everywhere, because he is the designated model on the team. And of course, they want to trade him. So really, the entire State of the Franchise was about how they're going to get back to their winning ways from 2019, how 2020 was a weird blip because of the pandemic, and that Trey Lance isn't on the team. He's basically persona non grata. He's a ghost. How do you explain that they would talk more about a team 2 years ago than Trey Lance in the future?
I don't get it. I actually, Iggy, I can't begin to answer the question.
They're going to raise up the NFC Championship banner week 1 at home. I mean, week 3, when they're their first home game of the season. They're going to have a big celebration, raising up an NFC Championship banner like they won something that year. Remember when they won the NFC Championship and lost the Super Bowl? Jed York said, we don't raise NFC Championship banners around here. They're raising one this year for something 2 years ago.
Really?
It's a sickness.
So in other words,
they got to let it go.
They've lowered their standards.
Yes, they've lowered their standards.
Okay.
They've lowered their standards. Jed lowered their standards. Jeremy Price says, so in both of your opinions, why did we lose that Super Bowl? Because the Chiefs were better.
Yeah, because the Chiefs were better. And I'll tell you another reason they lost the Super Bowl, because the Chiefs won.
Yeah, because the Chiefs won. That's the main reason. The Chiefs scored more points than them. The Chiefs scored 11 more points than them, Dad.
The Chiefs owned them in the fourth quarter, Iggy. And what's more, what's more, Shanahan possibly panicked in the fourth quarter.
They all got to own it. The defense gave up 21 points in the quarter. The defense wasn't good enough. Jimmy Garoppolo couldn't complete a pass. He wasn't good enough. Kyle Shanahan lost his mind and forgot about the run game. He wasn't good enough. The whole organization fell apart in the crisis moment. It wasn't the refs. The refs did a better job in that game than the Niners did.
Yeah. And
sorry.
Blaming it on the refs, Joe, God love you, Joe. Blaming it on the refs is really a very bad look.
It's not what a premier organization would do.
No.